Hey guys, how we doing? So I've been asked to make a video with regards to how to send distance Reiki, and so I thought I would do that for you guys, just to give you a little bit of insight into what goes on and what I do behind the scenes. So I'm going to have to talk you through what I do before a client session, a Reiki session, and then we will go through the healing session. I will just do like a short healing session, and I'll send some distance healing to myself for later on today, or maybe tomorrow, and then that gives you an idea of what I need to do. So what I like to do first off is I like to come into the room and I kind of assess how the room feels to me, and normally this room always feels fine, it always feels okay. But what I also like to do, just for a bit of extra protection from the Reiki, is first off I like to draw the chakra symbols, or the chakra symbol in every corner of the room. And the chakra symbol is known as the power symbol or the protection symbol, and it brings in universal energy, healing energy, chi, ki, prana, whatever you want to call it. It brings in this protective, loving source energy into that environment to protect and give power to the Reiki session. After I've done that, I then like to draw the distance symbol, the emotional mental symbol. So I'll draw Honshaze Shonen, and then I'll draw Seiheki, then I will draw the master symbol, and then I will draw Shokure. And when I mean draw, I just draw it with the finger in the air, and I'll do that in the middle of the room. I then draw Shokure over each of my chakras. So I draw it on the crown, third eye, throat, heart, solar plexus, sacral and root chakras. And then once I've done that, I will draw the distance emotional master and power symbol in the palms of each of my hands. And then I will come here to the table. Sometimes I light some sage, and I will go around the room with some sage. Sometimes I will go around the room with a singing bowl. It totally depends on how I feel, what I feel I need to do for the energy in the room. If I know or feel that the energy of the person that I'm going to be working with is quite heavy, I will use some sage, or I'll use some Palo Santo, and I will go around the room. If I want to bring an uplifting, lighter energy to the room, or want to round the energy off a little bit, then I will use a singing bowl. More often than not though, I use Palo Santo and sage because it's very cleansing and very protecting. I also use Palo Santo around my aura, so I cleanse my aura, I cleanse my hands, and I work all over my body before a client session, and then I'll bring myself to here, to the table, the workplace, my cup of tea. I then light some incense, so I'll put some incense on. I light a candle, so I always have a candle, either a little tea light in my burner, or I'll have a bigger candle burning. I will also put some incense on. I'm going to do that, so I'm just going to do it as I would normally do it, so bear with. I can just use the candle to light the incense. I'll pop that in my little burner. Nearly set fire to my wall. That's the first time I've ever done that. I'm going to light some Palo Santo as well, so you can get an idea of what I do with this. So Palo Santo takes a while to get going, takes a while to get burning. Takes a bit longer than the sage, but I prefer to use Palo Santo around the body rather than using sage all the time, because sage is extremely powerful and sage gets rid of kind of everything, whereas Palo Santo, it's more of it's a gentler energy. It's much more freeing of your energy, whereas sage, like I say, just blasts everything away, the good and the bad, and then you have to kind of start again building your energy back up. But sage is really good to do maybe like once a month, same as when you do like a house cleanse or something like that with the sage. But Palo Santo, I use that most days, especially if I come home from work or whatever, and I'll use it. Then you just let it burn a little bit to get some heat within the wood, because it doesn't smoke for that long. And then what I'll do is I'll use it around my face, crown, third eye, back of the head, up and down the arms, over the hands, backs of the hands, up and down the other arm, all sides, down the body. Obviously I'm plugged into a microphone, so it's quite hard to do everywhere, but you kind of get the gist. You'll stand up, do around your back, do up and down your legs, soles of your feet, and it's really, really good. It's got a really nice scent to it as well, whereas sage is quite overpowering, but the Palo Santo has got a lovely sort of piney odor scent to it, so it's really nice. And I'll just pop it in a bowl and I'll just let it burn, and it will go out in its own time. You can also do the same thing with Reiki as well. You can clean your aura and cleanse your aura of any heavy energy with Reiki as well. And to do that, we're gonna do that next. So we're gonna go into what's called Gasho, and then we're going to use Hatsure Ho, and then we're going to use Kenyokyu Ho, which is the breath, the cleansing of the aura. So we're just going to take a few minutes just to compose ourselves, and we're also setting the intention in our mind for what this session is about today, who it's for. So it will be your client, it might be you, it might be a friend, it might be a family member, and it just gives you time just to set your intention on your focus on that person. Maybe visualize that person in your mind's eye if you know what they look like, or just repeat the name in your mind of who it is, who it's for, the location, and it just sets that intention. Once your mind is calm, we're just going to bring palms together. You've probably seen me do this in many videos, and this isn't a religious thing. It's nothing religious. It's basically just a joining of the hands at the heart chakra, and it's giving gratitude and thanks for this time, and it just brings you to a centered place to just focus. Again, thinking about who the Reiki is for, and just keeping that intention fresh and strong in your mind. And now I like to take some deep breaths in and blow them out. And as I'm breathing in, I'm envisaging and visualizing the Reiki filling my body. And as I'm breathing out, I'm visualizing it leaving my hands, and my hands becoming warmer and warmer. Also keeping the awareness on my feet to keep me grounded, keep me protected, so keep my feet flat on the floor. And now just return your breathing to normal. And sometimes you can either visualize the energy coming in through the crown chakra, into your heart and out of your hands. Or as I like to think, it just is always there and it's always flowing. The Reiki is there. So you are always connected. And now if you wish, you can what we call dry bathing, which is where you can run your hands up and down your arms, cleansing your aura with your hands and setting the intention for Reiki to flow around your aura, going from the left shoulder down to the right hip, right shoulder down to the left hip. You can go down your legs, down your thighs, around your back if you wish. You can do the full body and do the full sweep if you wish, or you can use the Palo Santo. It's entirely up to you, and it's all about following what feels right for you. It really is. So there is no kind of right or wrong way. So if you want to stay focused and more traditional with the Reiki roots, then use the Gasho, Hatsurio-ho, Kenyoku-ho. If you want to use something a little bit more of a spiritual tool, or more of a shamanic tool, then use the Sage or the Palo Santo. But again, it's entirely up to you, and do what feels right for you. And that's what I do each time. So now we're ready. We've done the Gasho, we've connected to the Reiki. You may feel you become connected to the Reiki. Many different people have different sensations when they feel that connection with the Reiki. For some people it might be extremely warm hands. For some people it might be a tingling in the palms. For some people it might be a tingling at the top of the head. For some people it might be a little bit of a disorientated, dizzy feeling as the energy starts to flow through you. For some people, like myself, it's usually hot hands and ringing ears, but it varies from person to person. So again, your way will be your own unique connection to the Reiki. So now I'm going to send Reiki to myself. So I know what my intention is. I've done Gasho. I'm connected to the Reiki. I've cleansed myself, I've cleansed the room. So now I'm going to focus on what I use. I use a diagram, or sometimes I also use my teddy bear, Herbert. Again, everyone's got their own way of sending distance Reiki. You can use yourself as the surrogate, you can use a diagram, you can use a teddy bear, you can just use a name and location on a piece of paper. You can use a pillow, you can use your thigh, and just envisage the head being the knee of the person and just work down the body. Again, there is no right or wrong way. Just use a way that feels comfortable for you. This way, I've seen other Reiki masters use this and I found it extremely beneficial, extremely powerful. But I also know my Reiki masters use a teddy bear, so I also use a teddy bear as well. And I get different connections to people through the two different ways that I tend to send Reiki. If I use the diagram, I tend to have more of an intuitive connection to the person. If I use the teddy bear, I have more of an empathic connection to the person. So I have more of a feel of what's going on with them. Whereas with this, it's more of it's a spiritual connection with the person that I get. And that's, again, that is my own personal way of working. For you, it will be something totally unique to you. So everybody's different, and everybody's healing path and discovery of their healing is unique to them as well. So again, we've done this. So now I'm connected. I'm ready to draw the symbols. So I'm going to draw the distance symbol first. Then I'm going to draw the emotional mental symbol next. And then I'm going to draw the master symbol. If you're not master trained or you haven't got the master symbol, then you would skip that and go straight to Shokure. So you've got your 3 symbols if you're level 2 trained. So for this purpose, I will just use 3 symbols. I won't use the master symbol. So, and you want to use the mantra. So Honshaze Shonen, Honshaze Shonen, Honshaze Shonen, and you say the mantra 3 times. 3 is an extremely powerful number. It is the power number 3. So when you set the intention and you use the symbols and you use the mantra, you say the mantra 3 times, and that gives it its power. So Seihiki, 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 Shokure, Shokure, Shokure. And now I'm going to set my intention. I'm going to use my invocation. So my invocation goes as such. And you say this with honesty and integrity, and you put your soul and your spirit into it, and it's not just about something you just say. You need to connect to that. What you're saying, you are connecting to. I offer my hands to be a channel for Reiki, for myself, for myself, for myself, for my highest will and good, my perfect healing of body, mind, and spirit. And I ask for this energy to be received at the most appropriate time. And I'm already feeling Reiki actually channeling through me now. I can feel a very strong tingling from the top of my head, moving down into my shoulders. And again, I've used the word myself 3 times. So if you're channeling the Reiki to a person, then use the person's name and use that 3 times. But you can create your own invocation. There is no set invocation that you need to use. It's just basically about setting your intention, making it stronger, and vocalizing the words. Using your speech and using your voice is an extremely powerful way to connect your intention to what you need to perform and what you want to do. So there we are. That's that done. That's the invocation done. So if it's a client session, I'll have all their details next to me on this pad, the time, date, and everything of when it's going to get sent. I also write down chakras, which chakras come up for that need some alignment or extra healing. I'll write down crystals if I decide to use crystals. If I use my teddy bear, he's already got crystals inside him, stitched in, so I don't need to use crystals on him. I also like to pull an oracle card for guidance, and then I will write notes down on, just at the bottom I will have session, and I'll just write the notes down on there. So now I'm going to ask for my guides to step forward with love, light, and protection, and I ask for a sign for yes, and I ask for a sign for no. And I ask, can I have a sign for yes as to which of my chakras need assistance today, please? And I'm getting a yes, so I say thank you. My root chakra, sacral chakra, solar plexus chakra, so it's changed there to a yes. Heart chakra, yes, thank you. Throat chakra, no. Third eye chakra, no. And the crown chakra, no. So the 2 chakras that have come up for me today that need assistance are the sacral and the solar plexus and the heart. So I'll write them down. I didn't want to use my client notes, so I've just changed sheet. So again, I ask And should I use crystals for this session today? And it already knows what I'm going to ask, so it's already going yes. So it's saying yes to use crystals. Are my Reiki guides and spirit guides here to assist with the delivery of this energy? Yes. Is all protection in place? Yes. Thank you. And I always give thanks to the answers that I receive. So I'm going to use a citrine, and I think I'll use a malachite. So I'll write down citrine, malachite. So I might pull a card for myself as well. Again, this is all totally optional. You don't need to pull a card. Using Oracle and using Tarot is not part of Reiki. This is just part of a service. This is part of my service that I like to give my clients. Again, this is totally up to you. This is something you can incorporate if you wish, but you don't need to. It's not part of Reiki. This is something totally different. Can I have a card for myself, please, to give me guidance? And if a card doesn't fall out, I like to just sit the cards down, close my eyes, and I'll feel drawn to cut around about there. So I've got the card of generosity. Thank you. I give thanks again to cutting the cards and giving me the indication. And now I'm going to place my hands over. And again, just to set my intention, just in my mind, I'll just say that I ask for this Reiki to be sent to myself, to myself, to myself, for my highest will and good, my perfect healing of body, mind and spirit. And I ask for the energy to be received at the most appropriate time. And when you're giving the Reiki, when you're sending it distantly, you may feel sensations around your body as the energy moves through you, as your guides step closer to assist, because you are always protected by the Reiki. You may receive information as your spiritual abilities usually improve over time when you work with Reiki. You may have visuals, you may feel heat spots or cool spots. You may also feel very little. That's not wrong. Every way is unique to that person, to that individual. And I can feel the energy that's flowing out of my hands. I can feel there's a a lot of tingling going on there, so I know that there's some deep healing going on with regards to me. I can feel tingling in my feet as the energy is moving around my feet. I can feel something happening in my left arm. There's almost like a shaking feeling in my left arm. I'm also feeling a little bit of tightness around the head. So there is lots of healing that can go on, and just because it's the solar plexus and the heart chakra that came up with regards to the levels of healing that needs to go on, that doesn't mean that there isn't other things that need to be healed within my mind, body and spirit. So it could be emotional stuff, it could be mental stuff, it could be physical stuff, it could be spiritual stuff. I did some Reiki sessions yesterday, and for both of them, my third eye and my head was absolutely pounding, but it wasn't until I finished the 2 sessions that my head stopped pounding. And that for me was an indication of what was going on with the clients at the time, what they were feeling, what they'd been going through. And when I explained what I was feeling, then they validated that, and they said that yes, they were feeling this and they were feeling that, and that's why I was feeling that. And when you're sending distance healing as well, the energy is usually condensed. That's what Penelope Quest says in her books. The energy is condensed. So if you send, say, 15 minutes will do about half an hour. If you do half an hour, it usually lasts about an hour. So most of my sessions distantly are around about half an hour, but the energy continues to be delivered and is with you for up to a week after your initial session. So now I'm just going to I'm going to keep one hand over. I'm just going to say, can you just balance these 2 areas, please? And I'm just looking for the movement and the flow of the pendulum. If it's quite erratic, then there's more healing that needs to be done. If it's quite steady, then it's got a nice, gentle, steady flow of energy around it. I'm going to ask some questions. Is there anything that needs to be removed from these areas, from these chakras? Any cords that need to be cut? Any ties that need to be severed? No. Is it just emotional healing within myself? Yes. And usually find that when you ask these questions, you already know the answer, but you're asking the questions anyway, just for your own ego, I suppose, and validation. Thank you. So I'm going to take these crystals off, and I'm just going to sweep the diagram. And when I'm sweeping the diagram, what I'm visualizing is I'm visualizing any negative debris in the aura, in the auric field, to be removed. Any cords that no longer need to be there, anything that needs to be severed that isn't serving my highest good, to be removed, to be cleansed, to be transmuted, and returned to whence it came, or returned to source. And then again, with some Palo Santo. I ask for this Palo Santo to remove any negative energy that is no longer serving my highest good. And again, use it over my hands. And just come back to Yasho. Come back to your breathing. Bring your awareness back to the room, back to your body, back to your breath. Feel the soles of your feet on the ground, just to ground yourself. Some people can feel quite spaced out after a session. I'm usually fairly grounded, fairly secure and fairly stable. And we just give thanks. I give thanks for this healing session today for myself. I give thanks to my guides and anyone in spirit that wishes to assist with this healing for myself. I now draw this session to a close. Chokore, chokore, chokore. Clasp your hands together, and that stops the flow of Reiki. I've sent Chokore to the diagram to seal that energy, to seal that healing in for that session, and that for me is the signal that that session is over for that person. And that's pretty much it. And then after that, what I will do, I will just sit quite quietly, quite calmly, and I will just do a short meditation, and I will just give thanks for that session, for that healing, and give thanks to my guides that assisted in the healing. It doesn't matter if you're aware of your guides or not, they will be around and they will be helping and they will be protecting in some way. So whether you're aware of them, it doesn't really matter. But always ask for that healing session to be of the highest of good for yourself or that person, and only ask for things of the highest of intentions during that healing session. And that, I think, is pretty much it for how I do a distance healing session. I don't think I've missed anything out. I hope I haven't. I will also use a bit of Palo Santo or sage around myself, around my own aura again, or I will use the singing bowl again. Totally depends on how I feel and what I've done, the work I've done, the energy that I've connected with that person. You may be more in tune with your spiritual gifts than other Reiki practitioners, so you may have more of a connection with things. You may not have that much of a connection, so it's nothing to worry about. It's just something. Some of those things do develop and enhance over time with practice. And if you don't have that connection with your spiritual gifts, don't worry about it. It's all about the healing. Sometimes messages can be healing, but it's mainly about the actual healing session and the intention that you put into that healing session. And like I say, that there isn't a right or wrong way. Just find a way that works for you, that feels right for you. And when I started off, I was watching lots of different Reiki masters, different practitioners using various techniques and various ways, various tools of what they like to use. And I just kind of adapted my own style and took little bits of that. And I still change little things I do now. I'm still adapting and I'm still altering little things that I do now. But it's all pretty much about intention, setting the intention, feeling the connection of the Reiki and giving the healing. Whether you want to use crystals, again, you don't have to. That's not part of Reiki. That's just something I like to incorporate. So if I wasn't going to use crystals, I would just put my hands over the diagram. And that's pretty much it. Keep it simple, keep it basic, and just remember it's all about intention, and it's all about having that clarity of mind, the intention, and just getting on with it, just doing it. So if you are Reiki trained, if you're Reiki 2 trained, then this was for you. And even if you're a Reiki master and I've shown you anything within my practice, then by all means you can use some of that if you wish. You may do things very, very different to me, and again, each to their own. It's everyone's own connection and journey with Reiki is unique to them, so it's entirely unique to you. So don't spoil that, and don't let other people spoil that. Do what feels right for you, and feel that connection and feel that love, and just enjoy the healing. Just enjoy it, because it really, really, really is a beautiful, beautiful, gentle healing modality. So I hope this has helped in some way. Do let me know, comment below in the descriptions box. Don't forget to give me a bing if you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, where I like to share a lot of information about Reiki, but I also talk about your spiritual awakening, your spiritual development, meditation coaching, guidance, things like that, a little bit of mentoring and coaching sort of stuff to do with how we can deal with things in life, and other things that go on in the background as well, globally. And sometimes I like to do readings and dip into tarot and oracle cards as well. So yeah, there we go. Until the next time, much love, take care of yourselves. Bye for now. Happy Reikiing.